So I'm kind of in this spot where, I'm 27. Man, I've been, entrepreneurial my whole life. My grandma used to buy me 5-pound bags of gummy bears and not preschool, but, elementary school. I'd put them in Ziploc bags and flip them. So been kind of doing that thing my whole life. And man, I'm at this crossroads right now, man. I'm really trying to figure out what direction I want to take. My next step. I've tried a few things, and I guess my question to you is, were there ever just defining moments where you just knew, what the next step needed to be? Like if you were debating something.
What are you doing right now?
So right now, I'm currently working for Verizon, just sales rep there. Got laid off from the oil industry, and actually I'm doing videography as kind of my passion thing now that I'd like to monetize. And I actually made a just hype video for you.
I know, you've sent it to me. Yep, I know.
Yeah, I actually sent it to you like 30 minutes ago.
I love it. I love it. I love the other day you caught me perfectly. You're like, hey, like you knew I don't remember exactly what it was, but you're like, hey, there is no sports right now, so watch that. There was something you did that was clever, and it was really funny. Yeah. I decided I'm still not going to watch it because I wanted to virtually stick it to you without knowing you, but I did like that effort. Man. So Brandon, it's funny because I asked you so many questions. You had some pretty interesting twists and turns. You were in the hospitality business early in your career. Then you saw things like, you had some really interesting moments when you decided to rep talent differently. Have the moments where you made the right decisions with whether repping Phil later, with the restaurants, and I know we have to catch everybody up on these things. Did you just know?
No. I knew I was going to, at the end game, like a kid asked me today, he was up in the office, says, do you ever think you're going to be this successful? I said, fuck, of course. Do you think I started this thing to be a failure? Yeah, I started this thing to be successful.
Can I ask you a really important question?
Sure.
Will you end up being less or more successful than you thought when you were 17?
That's a great question. I hope that I will be more successful than I thought. And right now, I'm less successful than I thought. And I'm not happy about it. I got to be honest with you.
I love your face. I feel like that's going to happen with me too.
I'm not giving in yet. I've still got something to do about it. And I still got something to say about it.
I know.
And I'm not giving in, and paint's not dry. But one thing I would tell this gentleman on the phone is that target. I think that you don't dream enough when you got the opportunity. You got a blessing here, even though it sounds like a little bit of adversity. I love the idea of taking a step back, taking out a white piece of paper that's blank, and write down 10 of your dream companies and target the shit out of them. Find out everything you can about those companies.
Or open the Notes app and write it down.
Yeah, open the Notes. Sorry about the white pad.
I'm kidding.
But you know what I mean?
I'm having fun.
I love to go find 10 companies. By the way, I still do this to this day. Like, why should I work with a company that I really don't want to work with? Why wouldn't I work with my dream companies I always wanted to work with? This being one of them even, so over here. But at the end, Google search those 10 companies so you know everything about them. Every time something gets written about them, you get that email on your online, and then start looking at decision makers, and then figure out how you're going to go get your foot in the door, whether it be the mailroom, the lunchroom, whatever. Once you get your foot in the door, you're working for a dream company, a dream opportunity. Your energy and passion will be there, and then you find your way. I always worked with and for the people that I always dreamt of. Always thought I was going to work with Mickey Mantle. I figured it out. It wasn't easy. I always thought, wow, imagine if I get Derek Jeter. Figured it out. Yankees.
In a big way.
You know how hard it is to partner up, put the Yankee name next to your name? You have Yankee Steiner? Not easy. 2.5 years. Did it.
That was a huge coup. Andrew, I think, look, man, I'll be honest with you. Like, I think you should spend time on debating what creates insecurity or questionings or things of that nature, because that will help you way more than the micro decision on what's the next move, right? Like for me, it's never been about anything other than I just know it's going to work itself out. I believe in my skills. I put myself in a position to succeed, and I don't question things. And I think the reason I push patience is it's a big thing, like optimism, patience. Even Brandon's answer, he's like, the paint's not dry. How old are you?
58.
Right?
I'm 27.
I know. Right, no worries, Andrew. Brandon's 58 years old. All these 20 and 30-year-olds that watch me all the time, and obviously because of Instagram and YouTube, if they knew, and I say this all the time at 41, I love looking at Brandon because at 58, I know he's just as on fire as I am at 41, as you are, Andrew, at 27. And I've got some news for you. 95% of 27-year-olds don't believe that to be true. Andrew, 95% of the people, 97% of the people believe that Brandon and I are old when they're 27. That's just the way it is. And that's the part that fucks them up. Because if you knew that double your age plus 4, right? You get to be Brandon, and he's still just as on fire right now as you are. All of a sudden, you're not crippled about the next 6 months.
Yeah.
By the way, I give you permission. I'm giving you officially permission to be successful and to go after all the dreams and all the things you want to do without any road blockages. Use my card, use my name, any way you want.
Awesome. Well, I sincerely appreciate that. And it's cool to see, too, because, my father-in-law is a very successful entrepreneur, and he's in his 50s, and, man, he's still opening up businesses left and right, and he's just, excited every day about it. So it's cool to kind of get to see that firsthand. But
Andrew, I think if that's the case, if you got the luxury of that, then really I'll throw another curveball at you, or give you another thing to ponder. You got to try shit.
Yeah.
Like with making the trying the ROI, right? Like
sure.
The thing that I think has always worked for me is I make them win-win situations from the get. That I've decided that even the doing was the win, thus I'm almost numb to the outcome. The whole like you want, like from experience or this and that, like back to something that you and I cross over on. My first baseball card show, I wanted to pay $20 for the table. The whole way to the Phillipsburg Mall, me and my partners at the time, I had partners in 6th, 7th grade, like we're gonna pay $20. We get there, some monster guy that looks like King Kong Bundy comes out, right? Some like big fucking 400-pound dude comes out and he goes, "What?" And we're like, "We want a table. You got any?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got one more." Who knows if that's true? We go, "How much?"
It's always the last one.
Yeah, he goes, "How much?" I go, "How much?" He goes, $120. I go, "We'll take it." And then he's like, "I'll bring the money tomorrow." And then we just like start walking out of the mall. And my friends are in a coma. Like $120 is like $1 billion. And I'm like, cool. But then I start being like, fuck. And I start getting nervous and like, what am I gonna do? And like, I've got it, but like that seems like a whole lot.
It was a lot.
And my dad, who I never talked to back then, to his credit, he says, it'll be, it's gonna be worth the experience. And honestly, maybe from that day on, that has been a credo of mine. Everything I do, the second I decided to do it, I had already won. And whether it worked or not, the learnings or the upside of the execution were gonna be the KPI, ROI, the thing I was working towards.
Sometimes you get caught up on how much you're paying, not how much you can make.
That's
I
right.
used to get caught up with like how much we're paying, but then how much can we make on this thing? If you focus that much about how much you can make on it, as much as how much you're paying, sometimes you have to spend as much time on how much you're paying. You pay it because you can make a ton of money on the damn thing. And I've learned that the hard way with a bunch of players. I had David Wells for his perfect game.
Yeah.
Missed him by $2. Didn't talk to him for 5 years. Thought the guy was going to run over me in the parking lot. But have regained relationship with him now. But I learned from that, and that was a big get.
Yeah.
Almost went out of business because we didn't have him.
Yeah.
Because I had these perfect game pieces. I needed him to put them on it. But at the end, you learn. It's like, wait a minute. I was so caught up in the $2 because...
What is it? $2 per sign.
Yeah, he wanted 35. I offered him 32. I'm like, should have just given him the goddamn money, but I didn't want to do it. Meanwhile, I could have made a ton of money on it. I wasn't focused on how much I could make. I was focused on how much I was going to pay him.
Of course. Interesting.
Stupid.
Andrew, thank you, brother. Hope you get some value out of this.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Good luck.